Good afternoon and welcome to Parnell Park in Donecarney, and there are the captains out with the referee. Katie New on the left from Meath and Carla Rowe, and Owen O'Neill is explaining to them what he has in mind and what he doesn't like or what he wants to see from the players today, and that looked to be the way players challenge. I'm not quite sure, but anyway, it is a beautiful day here and we're looking forward to a great game in the TG4 Leinster Senior Football Championship. It's a dress rehearsal for the final in Croke Park next week. Get your tickets for that. Today is a dress rehearsal, whatever that means, and we will discuss that in the next few minutes with Ciara Trant. Ciara, what do you think what way will the teams be looking at this game today, or not the teams but the managers in particular, and looking at the lineups and the way that they are or who they're playing today? For example, the Meath manager was telling me he might give 16 debuts today, so that's including subs, so that maybe says something.
Yeah, I don't know, like from a player's point of view, you're looking to perform so that you get your spot for next weekend. That's the first thing. And managers, you want your team going out and practicing the system you're going to play. Both teams are very familiar with each other, too familiar with each other. So, I don't think you're going to learn that much today that you don't already know about the teams. Maybe you might pick up something tactical you haven't seen before, or you might get information about specific players. But other than that, I don't think teams are going to walk away with, this is now how we're going to unlock Dublin or unlock Meath, and we figured it out now. I think for most of the time you already know. Well,
let's look at Meath. I mean, as I say, all those debuts, all those players, is this them saying we're not going to show our hand ahead of next week?
Yeah, I would say so. But you also have their 16 debuts that girls want to go on and perform and show the manager what they have. So you could end up with a right match on our hands here today, even though the size might be weakened.
And Dublin, I hesitate to say second string because they've just so much depth, they've such strong two teams really, or maybe even three. So they're looking at it today and they're playing Hannah Tyrrell, Sinead Goldrick, Martha Byrne. These are established players, but also giving opportunities to players as well. But are you looking at this and thinking, well, Dublin they don't just want to win here, they want to make sure that they send out a message to the likes of Meath?
Yeah, I think Dublin are in such good form, and they're in a really good position that they're against an awful lot of opposition. They're competing against themselves, and I know the league table and how it finished doesn't really show that, but I think Dublin are favourites for Leinster for the All-Ireland this year.
Clear favourites.
Yeah, overwhelming
they're
favourites.
Amazing at this time of year. I haven't seen them so strong at this time of year.
But you look at the likes of Sinead Goldrick, Nicole Owens. They've been out for a couple of years. It's given them a run today. Meath are playing debut players, but this is their kind of, they need to step up and win their spot. And if you even look around the middle of the park at the girls picking up cones and filling ball bags, like they're in the hunt for places as well. There's such depth in the squad that, you can't take your foot off the pedal, or else you'll lose your spot, you'll lose your jersey. And Dublin are just extremely fortunate to be in the position to be able to go out and perform against themselves, against each other, their teammates.
Have you ever seen a Dublin squad so strong in depth?
No. Probably would have felt really strong, but no, absolutely not. But, I think the more senior, more experienced girls, they've gotten better and they've dragged up the newer girls with them. And even from my last year playing 2 years ago, the leadership qualities and the relentlessness and how ruthless the girls are, like it's player driven. You don't see it like we've been here. I've been standing here the last 20 minutes and Mick has been on the pitch the whole time. Like, he's not in the dressing room. They don't need this. This is completely player driven. They're so motivated and you see the results of it. They're just an absolute machine.
Let's have a look at the teams then. The Dublin team has one late change. Leah Caffrey is not starting there at number 2, and Kate Murray comes in there instead. But the likes of Lauren McGee in there, Caoimhe O'Connor coming back in as well. And as I say, up the middle they're so strong. And then you have young players like Hannah McGuinness who's coming in. So it's a nice mix there. They're keeping that spine, but they're also giving chances to the likes of Sinead Goldrick coming in at centre, half-back and so on. And I just realised they're stopping for a minute silence. So we are going to stop as well. And that is for Carl Friel, former Leinster secretary, Donegal man who helped Wicklow LGFA so many years. There's the Dublin team again. We'll make another quick look at that before the anthem. Rachel Fleming coming in goals as well. So a lot of changes, but very, very strong Dublin team. And maybe we'll get a quick look at Meath before the anthem. And so many changes. Kerry Cole's an interesting one, a full forward, minor captain this year, fabulous young player. But so many kids have come in there. Katie New captaining the team from left half back. Robin Murray in goals. Very good goalkeeper, as we've seen in the O'Connor Cup. And now the anthem. This game is free to view on Leinster LGFA Facebook and on Leinster LGFA YouTube. Feel free to leave a message there. I will be watching on there for any comments coming in. We'd like to hear from you wherever you are watching the game or what you're thinking, but it is free to view thanks to Leinster LGFA, and it's round 3 of games. The final is next week, as I said, in Croke Park. And Mick Bowen, the manager of Dublin, Shane McCormick, the manager of Meath, and a former teacher of you, Ciara, in Rathcoole many years ago.
Yeah, he
maybe
was,
not that many.
Well, he didn't teach me. He was in the PE department, but yeah, he coached the ladies team in the school, so I got to know him quite well, and I've bumped into him a few times over the years.
He said you were a great midfielder.
Yeah.
Good out player, never mind in goals.
Yeah, sure. I grew up playing midfield. Spent most of my time outfield, but I played there with the school as well. So.
Yeah, so he's now there. Of course, he managed Kildare as well. We saw them yesterday. We did their game yesterday, and now we're here today for this in Leinster. I'm looking down to the left, and I'm seeing Emma Duggan coming off the field with a bib on. You don't see that too often. And it is a very, very young Meath team who are lining out from right to left as you are watching. And Dublin in the huddle there for the start of this game. And interesting, Ciara, I think what you were saying there a couple of minutes ago, or I was thinking about it, and Dublin look after their own performance and they demand a standard here, and they haven't made too many changes, so they'll maybe be able to stick to their system and their pattern of play that they've become used to. That's what they want to see here. Yeah,
absolutely. And from a Meath point of view, it'd be nice to see their new players, how they match up against that, challenge them against All-Ireland champions and big names of the game as well. So yeah, it'll be an interesting game.
And when you'd say that, I mean, when you think of these young girls coming in, is there an element of no fear, or is there an element of them coming in and thinking, oh my goodness, look who I'm up against here, how am I going to cope? How do you deal with that? Or maybe youth doesn't worry about that.
Well, that's what you'd want your players to go in and have no fear, and it's what you'd want of yourself.
But look, you're lining out in midfield against Sinead Goldrick, who's moved in there, and Jennifer Dunn. It's a big ask for me today.
Even if you've been around the block a good few years, still, shoulder to shoulder against Sinead Goldrick is fairly intimidating.
Well, as we get started, it's a happy birthday actually to Sinead Goldrick, who was 34 the other day, but still absolutely flying fit and hungry, and she gets the ball right at the start and gives it to Jennifer Dunn. And we could have a score in the early seconds of this game because Carla Rowe is through and she will go for goal, but Robin Murray saves, and there is Goldrick. And she nearly got herself a birthday present there right at the start of the game, and it does end up in the net, but it's a free out. And Dublin, certainly a signal of intent in the first 30 seconds, the way they went for the throat there.
Yeah, good save. Carla would be fairly disappointed with her finish there. She kicked it straight at Robin Murray.
It looked to me like she was trying to sort of place it. She does like to place it in the corner, but it was just it went too straight and it was easy for the goalkeeper, but credit to the keeper.
Yeah, double save as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So, yeah, she was 34 the other day, and I believe Hannah Tyrrell is delighted to see Sinead back because now she's not the oldest in the panel anymore. She's the second oldest, although I don't think there's too much in it. All right, let's get back to the play, and it's Meath on their first attack of the game. Trying to get possession there, but that's going to be a hop. Owen O'Neill from Laois is the referee, and he's going to hop that. And that number 12 is Orla Mallon, and she is playing midfield, and she's up there against Jennifer Dunn. And she is tall, certainly, Orla Mallon. She's been around the panel a few years. She's from Navan O'Mahony's, as is Robin Murray. And the two corner forwards, Megan Collins and Alva Leahy. And here's a chance for Meath. They might actually take the the lead. That's high. Is it on target? It is indeed, and that's Shona Lynch from St Michael's, and Meath take the lead. Well, Dublin had the chance for a goal, but it is Meath who have taken the first score of the game. Now the press from the kick out, nearly won for Meath, but instead it's Dublin who get it away, and Goldrick plays that ball into Carla. Nice first time ball, low to the forward, and always makes it easy for the forward. But it's interesting to see Sinead Goldrick playing in midfield, and I'll get a comment on that in a minute from Ciara Tramp. But let's follow the play, because Orla Nolan has put a high one in there to Turl, and Dublin always have that option. They can go low, but Hannah's in there, they can put it in high. But yeah, Sinead Goldrick in midfield.
Yeah, just pace, bursting forward. Like, once she gets going, she can't stop herself. So I assume that's what Mick is looking for.
Yeah, he's experimenting today. You know, he's moving things around, obviously, because Sinead played left half back the last time, but she can play anywhere around there. And this at number 7, that's Aoife Kane from Crooks, and she goes forward with it. She made her debut in 2017, so around the panel for about 7 years. And that is the number 12 I was telling you about, Orla Mallon, helping to stop that. But Dublin seemed to find a way through, and this could be the equaliser. It isn't, and she was a bit disappointed with herself there, Annabelle Timothy. She scored 3-3 last weekend, so she's the top scorer in the Leinster Championship so far, that against Laois. But she, as I say, will be disappointed with that. Now let's look at the press here for the goalkeeper Murray. And that is a decent kick out actually by the keeper under pressure, and that's one way of getting over the press and put a nice ball in. But Dublin have won it back rather easily. O'Connor gives it in to the player we were talking about, Goldrick, and it could be a goal here, and there is. Well, it's only taken a few minutes, and there's an air of inevitability about that. The way they won it back, it was O'Connor into Goldrick, and Nicole Owens with a goal. And Nicole, believe it or not, has been around the panel now 12 years, but she's had a few injuries, but nice to see her back. But they sliced through rather easily, Ciara.
Yeah, Dublin just had so many runners that Meath were chasing them, and Nicole's pace got her a few yards ahead of her player, and one-on-one again with Robin Murray, who nearly pulled off the save.
Yeah, but that finish was rather composed, wasn't it? It was a nice finish by Nicole.
Yeah, like Nicole was only thinking goal there. She probably knew where she's going to put it before she even got the ball.
So a goal to a point early in this game, and that's a good, interesting long kick. But Aoife Kane has come over to intercept and get there before Carla Keeley. I suppose the Meath hope today, they're not expecting to win this game, but it's to stay in it, and for their young girls really to stand up to the onslaught that they were expecting from Dublin. But here comes that onslaught, and it's Orla Nolan, and there's a lot of room here for Nicole Owens, and they do seem to be getting players over, but that's a good interception, and that was the number 2 coming across, Ciara Lawler. And it's Meath just under the stand on the far side here in Parnell Park. They've come into Dublin's backyard here. They'll be reasonably happy the way they've at least got a score on the board in the first 5 minutes, and their defence is not doing too badly, but there could have been 2 goals. But they'll be looking, I think, to contain here and see how their young players perform. They're not expected to perform and win this game certainly, but they'll be looking for some optimism and some good performances individually maybe. But it's Dublin coming again, and Goldrick, as you were saying, she has only one way of playing, and that is to go forward. And she puts a nice ball in there to Annabelle Timothy, and Dublin really starting to flow and move the ball around nicely. And it is indeed a chance for Owens again. She's got 1, she's got 2 goals early in the game. We're only going 5 minutes. Actually, it's Carla, was it? It was Carla Rowe actually who got mixed up in the balloons there. I realised just when she was coming running out. So it's Carla Rowe, the captain, 1-6 so far, make that 2-6 for her, and now it is looking rather ominous, Ciara.
Yeah, like if you keep an eye around midfield, you see that the Dublin players always seem to be Meath side of their market. They're ahead of the Meath midfielders, so they're breaking through. Meath need to get their defence on the other side to protect their goal. And
look at the way Jennifer Dunn just went through the gears there and won that ball, and Orla Mallon, I think, thought she was away there, and Dublin just won it back so easily, and now they are trying to put it in there. That was from Kate Murray, but it didn't quite get there. She was looking for Hannah Tyrrell. And this is Nolan who has won it back in Dublin, winning the ball back so easily. And Nicole Owens is in for a hat-trick maybe. She's going to lay this off to Goldrick. Oh, it's off the bar. She should have scored and should have given herself a birthday present, but instead it's going to be a free out, and that looked for all the world that Sinead was going to put that in the net, but they're slicing through with ease.
Yeah, Sinead just needs to get her head over the ball a little bit more and get over it to keep it down, but you know, that's 2 goal chances coming from a midfielder. So Meath are going to need to have to start tracking the Dublin runners. There was, I think it was 3-on-1 in that case.
It was, yeah. They just are going through the gears and winning the ball back so well, and then they just go straight for you. Now this is Robin Murray. She's having to come out there, going to try and keep possession rather than maybe then just put it into that midfield. They're going to try and work it through the hands. But Dublin can be ferocious when they tackle around the middle. They have such speed in there and such strength. Look at there, they're coming in again, and if the first player doesn't get, the second one does. But now they have the hands on the ball, Aisling McCabe, and this is a little bit better. Shauna Lynch. Now, around this area of the field, Ciara seems to be saying that they need to keep possession around here and just be a little bit smarter, even though they're under serious pressure. I mean, I was here a few weeks ago, Ciara, and the Kildare players were under such pressure when they got the ball. Not maybe from one, but from two players. And here we are again, and that's a good ball into the forward. So this is better from Meath, and this is Megan Collins trying to get through, and that's good strength from her. And the other corner forward forces a save. And it is a good save from Fleming, but it was a chance there for Alva Leahy. And in the end, it's going to be a hot ball. But that's what you want to see from Meath, a little bit better.
Yeah, it's very unlike Niamh Crowley to be so far off her player there. And she got turned very easily too. But Meath have had 2 attacks inside Dublin's 21, and they've got a point and a shot on goal. So that's worrying from a Dublin point of view. They want to keep the scores down as low as they can.
And that's easily taken there by... Was it Jennifer Dunn in there? I'm not sure, actually. Yeah. It was, yeah. And they're going to win it back again. And Goldrick again wants to take it as quickly as she can. And in space, it's Lauren McGee. Seems like she's been around a little bit longer, but she's only 26. 5 All-Irelands. This is Tyrrell. She hasn't been on the ball much, but off she goes now. And on that left foot, gives it to Carla. Or Nicole Owen, sorry, I'm getting them two mixed up again. This is Carla. And it's a point. That's her first point of the game, actually. 2-1 plays 1. Those 2 goals in it. Dublin won't be happy about the press there. They were a little bit slack there. It's not like them. And I suppose it's the standards, Ciara, isn't it? The way you're saying, okay, they're winning really well, and against Kildare they won really well, but they'll be disappointed at the back if there's a little bit of sloppiness there.
Yeah, and even against Laois they went in. Laois hadn't scored in the first half, and I know conceding a point isn't much, but still that would have been their target. Let's not concede. And it's all those little targets is what Dublin chase. They've got plenty of turnovers so far, especially around the middle third, but that's individual targets that you need. And here's Carla again.
And she lands it again. 2 points for Carla inside a minute, and both very well taken. But yeah, it's very interesting what Ciara is saying there. Dublin almost seem to be creating a culture there, or taking the game to a level really that ladies football maybe hasn't seen, because they have such strength and depth and they demand such standards. This is Lauren McGee again, giving it to Kate Murray. And look at the quick transfer all the time. And the player off the shoulder, and the player who gives it going looking for it again. And they have options. They can put it in high, and Hannah Tyrrell can win it. And now it's Murray, and she's blocked down. And Meath just hanging on here at the minute by their fingertips. And as I said at the start, it's a really, really young team. It's a baptism of fire for a lot of them. But let's see what they can do. This is Maeve Byrne. Well, she got a couple of goals early in the league, so she's not entirely new to the scene, and she's back there in defence, and they just need to show a little bit of composure here and work it through the lines. But that was a sort of a 50-50 ball, and maybe the wrong selection under pressure, yes, but they're inviting Dublin to just win the ball back a little bit too easily. But I guess that's just a little bit of naivety. But as I say, they're under serious pressure. This is Kerry Cole now, the full forward I was telling you about. What an opportunity for her today to play against this Dublin team. And she is going at them, and she goes to ground, but she's not going to get a free there. And I think she's got hurt there, and it's going to be a free, and it's going to be a free in for Meath. And it is indeed Kerry Cole who is down. She's from Nefena, the same club as Shauna Ennis, and he did very well in the club championship. She's a fabulous young talent and had a cruciate at the age of 15, but has bounced back, and she went at Dublin there and didn't show any fear. And I guess, Ciara, that's what they kind of need, but they needed to back it up, and they need to have a bit of teamwork, and they need a bit of support for her. Yeah,
she was very brave there, and loads of confidence to take on her player, and that's what you want. And I think a lot of the time she would have got a free there, just the pace she had and the head of the defender. So she's a bit unlucky, but look, something has come from it, and it's a very scoreable free here.
I think I said Nicole was on a hat-trick. Of course, it was Carla who got one of the goals. So not on a hat-trick, but still might get a hat-trick before the end of the day. She steps inside the D. That's very high, but I think it's gone to the left, is it? No, just inside the post. And another point for Meath. They've scored 2 frees. Big crowd on the far side in the sunshine. Well, some of them in the sunshine and some of them up in the shade, enjoying this game. And that's over carrying, according to the referee, and it's going to be a free out for Dublin. Number 3 is Martha Byrne. Made her debut 2013. Racing out of defence, this is Niamh Crowley, only 19 from Fingalians. And that's Aoife Kane into Rowe, and Rowe immediately dispatches the ball into Timothy. Tyrrell goes into the right corner and over carrying again. Well, he's been consistent, you have to say that. And there's the kick pass, but that's inviting the challenge, and again nearly a turnover, but a little bit of fortune there for Shauna Lynch. And she comes away with the ball. And I'm just looking off camera, and it's Sinead Goldrick who's moved into that sweeper role and just sitting in there.
Yeah, she spotted the gap. It's 1-on-1 inside and just dropped into midfield, and it's because Aoife Kane has pushed so far up.
Every time they get the ball back, Dublin, though, you think there's a goal on, and that's a good ball over to Kiva O'Connor. And she gives it back to Carla, and that's going to go just to the left. Is she going to keep it in? No, it's gone wide. But yeah, they just move so quickly, and they're kick passing, and it's so direct. They don't even take a solo, they just look up and give it. Dublin.
Yeah, when you get the ball in a certain area of the pitch, you know where it should go next. So you could kind of play with your eyes closed.
Whereas Meath, they don't know each other, so they're kicking it, but that turns into a 50-50 because the player isn't reading it the same way.
Yeah.
That's a good ball into Goldrick, who's moved up into the forwards. She threatened to score a goal. She's maybe going to get through now. No, she's going to take her point, and Sinead Goldrick is on the scoreboard, and that goes to 2-3 to 2 points. And we are nearly at the first quarter stage. 14 minutes gone. Now this kick out again from Robin Murray. Let's watch where she goes. The press is on. She goes long into space. And that's a good kick out the press from Kate Murray, but Maeve Byrne did well there. And that's a nice ball into the middle. And it's she's playing midfield, Orla Mallon. This is Lynch again. This is better from Meath. And there's a player over the far side actually, but that ball, no free, says the referee. Alva Leahy went down, and she's now gone back and somehow managed to get there. That's a good recovery from her, and she's got support from her corner back, Carla Keeley, all the way up there. Now it is Lynch. And Lynch, can they get their first score from play in the game? And that would do them a lot of good, and that's a good score, isn't it, Ciara?
Yeah, unfortunate there, Niamh Crowley not playing the whistle, or kind of reacted a bit to the crowd. But that was a bit sloppy from Dublin, a few loose players there, so they won't be happy with that. That's definitely going to come up in the video analysis.
Yeah, they'll not be happy, but as you say, it was just maybe a little bit of a misunderstanding. But from a Meath point of view, it was good play all the way up the field.
Yeah, if they're not going to get many attacks, they need to be clinical in what attacks they do have, and that's an example of them doing it.
Look at the speed of Kiva O'Connor here, and she's trying to lay on a goal, and she may have passed it to herself, and now we could have another one. Should have had another one. And haven't, but they're having a field day up there, and every time they go forward it looks like there's going to be a goal. Referee's going in to talk to his umpires or the goalkeeper. I'm not quite sure why. Don't know what that's about. But the kickouts are interesting, Ciara, and I think the goalkeeper has done really well so far. She is a good goalkeeper. I've been really impressed by her in the O'Connor Cup, in which she's had games for Meath, and her kickouts, she's good at the long kickouts. Yeah,
she's very, very confident, and even in possession of the ball, she doesn't mind carrying it forward and staying involved in the play, which is what you want from a keeper. You know, you want them to have that confidence, but I don't think she has many options. Maybe Meath are looking to isolate one-on-one outfield, but they don't have many runners inside, so I think she's under a lot of pressure here.
But a goalkeeper these days, I guess, they need to have a range, and they need to be able to hit it long if needed to beat the press.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, ideally you should need to be kicking it over to 65 there to beat that press.
And it was a good kick out, and it was well taken, and that ball played into the full forward area. And if Meath can move it up the field quickly and beat the press, they seem to get one-on-ones there. But look how tenacious the Dublin defence are. Aoife Keane available, Goldrick available as always, likes to kick it as quickly as she can. She's looking up to see where she's going to go with it. Tyrrell is moving and looking for it, but instead she waits for Jennifer Dunn, and the movement in behind. Oh, that's brilliant to get it to Timothy. 3 goals last week, trying for another one today maybe, but Dunn is in there, should be and is inside the post, and a really swift counter attack again from Dublin makes it 2-5 to 3 points.
There's Dublin midfield again getting on the end of the score, end of the attack. They're causing a lot of problems for Meath there.
Right, let's watch this kick out again. Where's she going? The run from Aisling McCabe is tracked by Goldrick, so she's forced to go long and very high, and beautifully taken out of the sky there. And that was Hannah McGuinness. And this is Nolan. This is Rowe. Lovely little pass back, and Nolan will just pop this over. Will she? Oh, that was close, and I think they're claiming it went in the net. And
I thought I saw the net move there. Yeah.
So did I, but the umpires didn't react, and the play goes on. But yeah, that was a nervy moment for the Meath goalkeeper, but she survived. Aisling McCabe gets it away, and this is Alva Leahy out around the middle, and that's going to be a free. But what a catch there by Hannah McGuinness, who's come into the panel, and she's only 18 from Skerries. She's actually doing her leaving cert at Loreto Balbriggan. And her dad, by the way, is a dairyman from Faughonville, right up there on the shores of Lough Foyle up there in Derry. And they have that mix there, haven't they? They've these seasoned players, and then they're able to bring in, but they don't bring in loads at any one time.
Yeah, no, Hannah would have gone through, obviously underage, but also a lot of time with development squads off the back of that. But as well, like, you're coming in and you're playing alongside, like, her half-back line there is Aoife Kane, she's Kate Murray, she's got Lauren McGee beside her. Like, to have Lauren on your right-hand shoulder in a match, like, she's playing it beside someone she's in awe of, you know. So any new panel member onto the Dublin team, she's going to soak up the advice, the support, and the teachings of all the older, more experienced girls. Because with the success Dublin have had over the last, you know, even you take it 10 years to the stage where losing All-Ireland finals, you know, you would the likes of Hannah would have been in the crowd going, I'm going to be her, and now she's playing alongside her. So you can only be encouraged by that when you come into a team. And there's Annabelle there getting the hard yards in. That would have driven from other fours like Carla Rowe there as well. So yeah, it's a big step up, but there's also, you know, you're encouraged and you're enthusiastic to learn, and who better to learn from than this group of Dublin girls. What message does it send to a young player like that when they come in and really, they're not bringing 6 or 7, and it's like you're feeling pretty special. They've only just brought you or 1 or 2 of you in at that age. You know, they must think an awful lot of you. It must do your confidence a world of good. Yeah, like, you're not going to be thrown in there to see if you can play. You're thrown in there because management and your teammates know you can play, and the message would be just go out and do what you've been doing in training. Go out and show what we know you can do, and that's the only message that would have been given. You're playing alongside your idols, as I say, that you've seen playing in Croke Park, so it must take a while for that to bed in, where you don't think about that and you just get on with it. Oh, hold on, Meath have got it here. That's well snatched by Megan Collins, and she's fed it in to Byrne, and Byrne has the referee given it? No, I don't think he has. I thought maybe that was a penalty, I have to say. I thought Byrne was taken down. Maybe we'll get another look at that one, Ciara. What was your initial thought? Initially, I think Kate Murray got a hand in there at the end. Oh, yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. She got a great hand in there, actually. Yeah, absolutely. It was a great tackle by Kate Murray. And this is Sinead Goldrick. And that's, I mean, the door just opened ever so slightly, and it was Murray in there with a textbook tackle. This is Caoimhe O'Connor. She is so fast. She's electric, and off she goes, and it's Goldrick now. And I thought she was going to go for goal again, and she's had 2 or 3 chances where she could have gone for goal, hit the bar, but she's got a couple of points out of it at least. Yeah, she won't be happy though. I know. She will not be happy. But Meath need to stop her. Like, this is why Mick is putting her in midfield, because she's done that 4 or 5 times already, and we're still in the first half. So stopping Sinead Goldrick, I mean, there's a lot of teams that try to do that in different countries, and it's very hard to do. Meath coming again. This is Tori Foster.
And the kick pass, but look at the way Martha Byrne is out there, following the number 9 actually, Rachel Casserly, and she wins it back as well. Well, she's been around the panel quite a while, since 2013, a 29-year-old from Kula, and she's still absolutely top drawer defender. And off she goes again. And Dublin just toying with Meath a little bit now, and it's becoming very one-sided, but when they go forward, they're so exciting to watch. They've such pace and so many options. Caoimhe O'Connor, and she just bursts away from her marker again. How many times has she done that in the game? And then she's lots of players around, like Nicole, but that is going to drift to the right and is going to go wide. So it's 2-6 to 3 points, 9 points in it, and there's going to be a little bit of a hold up here because there's an injury. Is that Orla Nolan?
Yeah.
And she's looking for a little bit of treatment over there, and the players will get their breath back and get a little bit of water on board as well. But yeah, that tackle a few minutes ago, I have to say on first viewing I saw her go down, but when I watched it again, magnificent tackle, and they just do not let them through. And that was the one that we were looking at. That did hit the net, did it? Or was it the keeper's hands maybe? Let's
I think her hands were under the ball.
Oh yeah, you're right. Can we look at it again? Is this the one again? I mean, why would the net have moved?
Yeah, that's a goal, yeah.
I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to the umpire who was there, because the sun is right up behind us, so the sun was right in his eyes. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but still, it was a goal. Now, Robin Murray, after that little bit of treatment, is going to kick this one out. And let's look at the press again. And it's player for player. She goes long, and it's gone over everyone. It was a good long kick out, but is gobbled up rather easily by Lauren McGee. Gives it into O'Connor. Little 1-2, and they're demanding it quickly again. It's Timothy, and they love to play it really, really quickly, and it's impressive, but that time it didn't quite work. They might get it back here. Nolan has recovered and has got it back and is giving it quickly, and look at the way they play the game. So fast, so impressive, such high standards, and they've got a free in. And our scoreboard has disappeared, but I can tell you on the scoreboard on the ground it says 2-6 to 3, and it's 23 minutes and 40 seconds gone. And Lauren has taken a bang there, but she's got the ball, and I think she's got her free as well. Challenged by Orla Mallon, not appreciated, and the referee has ticked for that as well. And she's going to get a little bit of treatment here, and it would have to be bad for Lauren McGee to get a bit of treatment. She's a tough cookie. She
is very, very tough. I think she just got a bit of a knock to the face there. But you know, playing against Lauren in club, you don't want her to get a knock, because it just ignites something in her and just, you know, fire in the belly sort of thing. So that's just gonna give her more energy now.
Yeah, don't annoy her. Don't annoy this Dublin team. They're strong enough as it is. Ball is just dropped in there, and rather easily for me to transition here. But the actual transition mightn't be so easy, because here comes the press from Dublin. Nicole Owens coming in, and Kate Murray forcing them back. So the game pretty much as we expected, but could have been more for Dublin. They could be 2 or 3 goals more to the good, but we're not really expecting Meath to win this game. It's all about the performance. So far, Ciara, it's at least still quite interesting, yeah?
Yeah, I think Dublin have been quite wasteful. Like, they've only got 8 scores. All the possession they've had, all the attacks they've had, they haven't been ruthless enough, haven't been clinical enough up front. So Meath, they're kind of lucky in that sense, but they need to challenge that, channel that now, and use it to kind of get a few more scores on the board, and just get a few more attacks in, a few more shots, even if they're going wide. They just need more play up this end of the pitch. Well,
that's what they're trying to do right now, but when they put it in there, it's very much a 50-50, and against this Dublin defence, that's really difficult. And even when they get a break, you have the likes of Kate Murray can come in with a great tackle. And look at the way they're working the ball out here through the hands. And Carla working hard back in defence, under pressure, and manages to get it away, and actually had already got her free. So the scoreline 2-6 to 3, and you look at the scorelines over the last couple of years since the 2021 All-Ireland in Championship, and there haven't been many goals in the game, so this is already looking like it might be Dublin's highest score in Championship against Meath, although the circumstances are pretty different today, with Meath putting out such a young team. The last time they met was last year in the final in Leinster. Dublin won 2-9-9. Before that it was 1-6-7, 1-7-1-5, around that sort of scoreline. But today very, very different, and they've 2 goals already, and they've 3 goals now, and it's Jennifer Dunn going through. And as we come up to the last 4 or 5 minutes of the first half, they do put the scores on the board, and it's now 3-6-3, and we knew it was coming. Yeah,
that's a very good finish by Jen there, and doing what Dublin have kind of failed to do so far in the match, really, and that's kick a shot on goal low, getting over the ball. So that's good, and hopefully, my point of view anyway, Dublin do more of that. But lovely ball from Hannah McGuinness into Nicole, and Nicole wasn't looking for her score. She knew Jen was coming, so her only thought was win this ball and lay it off to Jen.
Yeah, Jen Dunn coming through the middle for the 3rd goal. This is Shona Lynch for Meath, being chased down by Kate Murray, and the referee gave advantage there and then brings it back for a free. So 12 plays 3, 9 points in it now. This is Olivia Gore, number 3. Gives it back to her goalkeeper. Dublin working hard, and they've just gone player for player all over the field. So if Meath bring out their goalkeeper, they have 1 over, and then she drills that long, and good movement by Maeve Byrne to get there ahead of Aoife Kane. I think she sort of drifted in behind and made a good run and has got it, and this is good pace from Maeve and leaves it off, and this is Kerry Cole, and the minor captain from this year gets a score. And if you're looking for positives today for Meath, that has to be one of them, to see that 18-year-old come through and get that over the bar. That's a lovely moment for Kerry Cole. Yeah, fantastic attack. Meath need more of that. That's twice they've run at the Dublin defence from deep, and they've got success off it. Okay, the first one was a free, but they need that, and they need to get to grips with Dublin's kick-outs off the back of it as well, because Dublin have just eased down the pitch here, and a goal chance. Keeve O'Connor is through, goal number 4, easy as that. And it was Lauren McGee who set it up, and they've just replied to that score at the other end with another goal. And what were we saying a couple of minutes ago, that they maybe hadn't got enough scores on the board? They must have heard you, Ciara, and they're putting that right now. No, I think they might have heard Mick on the sideline. Yeah, probably. Yeah, well, they don't want to go in at half-time and get criticised for not getting enough scores on the board, but they have 4 goals now on the board and 6 points. And Meath trying desperately to get this, but Kate Murray chasing that one down again, as she's done all through the game, and it's going to be a Dublin ball. So 2 minutes to go at the end of the first half. In the sunshine here in Parnell Park. Beautiful day at the start of May. It is going to be a Dublin ball. 28 and a half minutes gone, and it's now, if I add that up, 18 points to 4. Jennifer Dunn gives it to Keeve O'Connor, who's been electric in this first half, and this is Timothy. It's, at times, it has to be said, it's been like shooting practice for Dublin, but Katie New comes away with it, and Kate Murray spotted that one and got in there ahead of Shona Lynch, and Dublin will go for the jugular again. And Hannah Tyrrell is there, and that might get all the way through, and beautifully laid off by her, but attack breaks down or slows down a little bit. Nicole gives it back, and Hannah Tyrrell should put it over, and does. And the last 2 or 3 minutes have been much more clinical. Yeah, I don't know. Meath starting to tire a little bit now, but yeah, Dublin, they've had 3 shots in a row there, and all of them have been scores, so it's much better. Murray has been forced to go long with so many kickouts, and that's brilliant from the other Murray. She looked like she was second best there, but recovered, and the Dublin players seem to be doing that all through the game. When they're second best at times, they still seem to manage to win the ball. This is McGee going through, and she's brought down rather crudely, and it will be a free in that Tyrrell will come out and take. But yeah, the tenacity and the one-to-one challenges there have been amazing, and Kate Murray is just one of the players who've been very good at that in the first half. Yeah, Kate's very strong, in fairness to her, but you know, in any position around the pitch, when it's a contestable ball, Dublin are winning them, and Dublin look like they're going to win the ball. The Meath player doesn't look like, you know, they've the strength or the confidence or the hunger to win those 50-50 balls or the dirty scraps. And I think that will be a message that is said to their players at half-time as well, just to get stuck in. You know, with the scoreline the way it is, there's nothing to lose in the second half, so go out and empty yourself. Problem is they're now down to 14 because Isabel O'Connor, the number 6, has just been yellow carded for that challenge, so she will miss the first 8-9 minutes of the second half. So they'll be down a player. They are down a player. Now Murray, very few short ones. She goes right to the line there, and Katie New manages to get away with it, but this is where Katie needs to find possession, and she does when she gets a free, but it's so hard to get out if the Dublin players don't get it from the kick out. They have such a press on to get it from the second one, and they force the ball. How many times have Meath given it back to their goalkeeper? That tells a story. This is Tori Foster from St Patrick's, and she does well. And gets this one to Orla Mallon. Kick pass into Megan Collins, and on the run now it's Kerry Cole, and off she goes again. And Ciara was saying that she's shown courage, and she's doing that again. Megan Collins, she's going to leave this one off. She's been forced back because 3-4 Dublin players have converged, maybe 5 now, and this is Lynch again. And the effort comes in, I think, from Byrne. And has it gone over the bar? Well, the referee's going to bring it back. I think it might have gone over the bar, but he's going to bring it back now, and there's a little bit of debate about this one. And both sides are pointing and claiming. Did that go over the bar?
Yeah, I think
but he'd already given it, maybe?
Yeah, I think the Meath players want him to let the score stand.
Yeah, I think he wanted just blowing the whistle just before she kicked. Maybe that was it. So they're going to get a free instead. 32 minutes gone. There can't be long left. There weren't many stoppages, but Meath with 14 players might get a score to end the half on a little bit of a high. They've got 4 points. I think it was 2 frees and then 2 from play. This will be a third, but she's put it very, very high. And it's also accurate. It worked, and that's a 5th point for Meath. And if they're looking for positives, well, they have had a few nice scores, but they've just been killed at the other end by the goal machines. That is Dublin. They have scored 4 goals and could have had at least another 4, to be completely honest. So it's been an entertaining first half here in the sunshine in Parnell Park, but it has been the Dublin show, and it has been about how Meath, with their very, very young team, have managed to cope with it. How would you sum up the half, Ciara Trant?
Dublin have dominated, particularly in the tackle, particularly around midfield. Haven't been clinical enough up front. Dublin kickouts have been good. Meath, they just look that little bit inexperienced. One-on-one, Dublin look like they're going to and have been winning those battles. Meath kickouts, a lot of them are 50-50s. You know, so Dublin are mopping up some of the breaking ball there. Dublin have had more goal chances than they have point chances. So Meath just really need to get to grips with Dublin around midfield and hope to get some success by quietening the likes of Sinead Goldrick. Lauren McGee has come into the game a bit in second half of their second 15 minutes, and Jen Dunn as well.
Why do the Dublin players go in a huddle like that and walk in together? What's that about?
Just walk in together, like it's
I thought it was like they were going in to have a little confab there, and then
no, just wait for everyone.
It's
all
a practice,
going together. Yeah.
I think what you were saying at the start of the game has really come to fruition in the game about the way that Dublin, they know it, they know the system, they know their game, and Meath look a little bit like they're individuals and they don't quite gel together in the same way because there's been so many changes.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, Meath are used to playing a running game, and they're not really playing that running game here today. Whereas Dublin, it's a football game, and they're playing that. And Meath are allowing Dublin to play that.
They are. Okay, so at half-time, it's 4-8 to 4 points. Lots of great goals, lots of great action, lots of great individual play. And we will see what happens in the second half. We'll be back in about 7 or 8 minutes' time. Welcome back for the second half. Emma Duggan with a bib on her, number 1. No, she's not coming on as a goalkeeper. She's on the sideline, and that really is the story today, because Meath have left their regulars, most of them, off, and that's why Caroline Wall, for example, on the Facebook comment says, great to see young Meath players getting game time today. And it is indeed. Next week will be a different story, but 1 or 2 of them are putting their hand up today, and that's what it's about for Meath. For Dublin, well, it's just a juggernaut that just keeps on going there, demanding high standards, and Ciara Trant, they're getting those high standards most of the time today. Would you agree?
Yeah, Dublin, I suppose the mistakes they were making in the first maybe 10 minutes of the game, they've kind of tidied up a little bit, but they've made a few changes here now, and Leah Caffrey is on, Helen Griven is on, so you're just adding more pace, strength, ruthlessness to this side. So
if you imagine you're young Kerry Cole, you're the minor captain, and you've come in and you've played in the first half, and you look around at half time and you come out and Leah Caffrey's just come in. You know, it doesn't get easier, but that's, I guess, what Dublin want to sort of stamp on it. You know, they want to keep drilling home to other teams that they have incredibly high standards, and that they're not replacements that weaken the team in any way.
Yeah, like Leah, I don't think she'd be too disappointed she didn't start. Mick would have explained that to her and she'd be well aware of it. But
she's the spare player, because of course they've 15 against 14, and she's now going to sit in as a sweeper. But this is Jennifer Dunn now with the ball for Dublin, but the referee had already given a free there. They're announcing all the changes, but the important thing is it's 15 against 14, so Leah's come in there as a sweeper. She doesn't actually have to mark anyone at the start. But have you spotted any other changes? Who have you got? Lauren
McGee's gone, Kate Murray's gone, and Ellen and Leah are in. Ellen Griben.
This is Jennifer Dunn. What about Meath? Have they any changes? We'll go on with the play now, though, to see what happens here, and that's well broken in defence, and all the way back there that's Alva Leahy in defence, and this is Ashley McCabe from Summerhill, and Dunn gets in, and was that, no, it wasn't Dunn, was it? Was that Griben? Got in and won it back 18 rather than 8, I think. That was well won, and gives it out towards Carla Rowe. And a DJ 18, Ellen Griven from your club.
Yep.
Bridget's. This is Shauna Lynch. And off she goes. Aoife Kane gets in the way. So she goes cross field, and that's good play from her. And there seems to be a good bit of pace about the start of the second half here from me. They're going at Dublin with a bit of confidence, having to go cross field, but it was still good work by Alva Leahy. And Dublin win it back as they inevitably seem to do. And that's Goldrick gives it to Caffrey for her first touch, and now for Kiva O'Connor. She's a lot of grass in front of her to go into. She doesn't need to sprint this time, just carry it forward, and gives it to Hannah McGuinness. And Caffrey again, and they just work a little triangle there and get it back to O'Connor. There's always seems to be a player ready, and they are always confident about giving it quickly, and that's a lovely ball kick past, and this could be a nice score if it just goes inside, just goes outside the post. But lovely approach football from Dublin. When they move very smoothly, don't they? Yeah,
they did there, and you see before Carla got the ball, she pointed to Annabelle where to run. Carla knew she was going to offload it, but you know, I think all of Meath's attacks have kind of gone through Maeve Byrne. Anything good they've got has gone through her, so they need to get her on the ball as much as possible. See, Hannah McGuinness is, stuck to her like glue over on the far side of the pitch, but they just need to get her on the ball, because her pace and her power is creating things for them.
Yeah, she's been quite away from goal, but they just need to get the ball into that area. But when she gets it, she has made a few good runs, and she's won a few balls, but Dublin will be very aware of that, and they're very keen, Dublin, that each player wins their individual battle, never mind the overall score. So they'll be saying to Hannah McGuinness, you win that battle for us. That's your job. Orla Mallon unable to keep it in. Dunn gives it in, and look at Goldrick in acres of space, nobody near her, and leaves it off to Tyrrell, to Nolan, and again the quick transfer, and ends up with a little bit of room for Tyrrell, but her kick drops short, and Robin Murray is able to get that one rather easily. And out she comes confidently and gives it off to, is that Kerry Cole all the way back there? It is. And Cole, a little give and go from her, that's good. She gives it to Mallon. Support coming in from Carla Keeley from Dunshaughlin Royal Gale, same club as Niamh O'Sullivan, who retired earlier this year, and they've quite a few changes, of course, from the team that won the All-Ireland, which is now 3 years ago. And this is Meath Byrne, who Ciara was talking about, and indeed that's great play from her, and she is in with a chance here. And the challenge came in from Kiva O'Connor and just did enough to put her off maybe going for a goal, but did end up with a point, and in doing so she has managed to collide with Byrne, and Byrne is hurt. In fact, both players are hurt in there, but that was good defensive work by O'Connor there, Ciara, and you know, she's been going forward a lot. We've seen her going forward, but going back she can be very effective as well.
Yeah, like that's the rule. If you can attack, you can defend, and you need to be able to do both to get a spot on the team. And the reason Caoimhe O'Connor is back there defending, because Meath they ran in numbers, they ran together, they were off each other's shoulders, hand pass, that typical Meath style that we haven't seen up until now in the second half. So obviously that was a message that went in at half time, and it's working.
Do you think the overall message was like, go out and give it a real go? You may as well.
Yeah, like I don't think they showed much of themselves in the first half. I don't think there was much they could be happy about individually. Like there was, you know, they have to go out and do the jersey proud in the second half, you know, so to put themselves in the right frame of mind to have a crack at it again next week.
Absolutely. And they will do that. I think they've just made 2 changes. Megan Collins has gone off, and I'm not sure who the other player went off. I'll try and check that. But here comes O'Connor, but she's blown for over carrying. She looked to be on her bike there. She was away, but she was halted. Kerry Cole does seem to be playing very deep back in sort of defence or along the half back line. This is Byrne again, who you were saying they need to get her on the ball, and this is why off she goes again, and she wants to give and go all the time, and Goldrick tries to prevent her run, but she's still going. Dublin do catch up with her eventually, but it did create a chance for Orla Mallon, and her shot just goes to the left and wide. One of the subs on for me is number 20, that is Ciara Gorman, another from Dunshaughlin. So she's in to see what she can do. Now the kick out goes right up the middle, and Dunn just gets there ahead of Aisling McCabe, and it's resulted in a lot of room here for Annabelle Timothy, and she decides not to run into it. Instead she gets the ball in towards Tyrrell, and you can see what she was trying to do there. They were hoping that Tyrrell's height above Murray there would have counted, but the goalkeeper did well. Yeah,
very, very confident there. You can see why she's such confidence for, you know, an aerial battle. Usually Hannah Tyrrell comes out on top, but she just, you know, floated through the air there, took it, and then went for the return as well, stayed involved in the play. And that's what you want your goalkeeper doing, so fair play to Robin Murray.
This is number 17, Ciara Doherty, who's in as well from Donaghmore Ashbourne, and I spotted number 19, Sarah Caulfield from Trim is in as well, and this is her, and that shot is just going to drift to the right, but she did get in a good position there, and with a little bit of luck that might have just curled in, but there's not really any wind out there to talk about, but certainly an enterprising move for Meath, and that's all they can do at the minute. Now Rachel Fleming just punched that off the front of the boot accurately over towards Hannah McGuinness. Dublin under pressure now, but managed to get their free, and Goldrick again, and lots of room in the middle of the field, and again very quick to turn and get away, and she's looking for the return, but Timothy instead is going to put a kick pass in to Tyrrell, and off the shoulder this is Nolan with a really intelligent run, and oh my goodness, that was a lovely effort at a ball, and nearly created what would have been a sublime piece of football. You have to admire the vision there, but it just didn't quite come off, and Meath survive. And in fact, they're probably doing more than surviving in the first few minutes of this second half, aren't they? Well, 7 minutes have flown by already, but Meath have done quite well, Ciara.
Yeah, they're keeping the ball. In the first half, they were losing possession here. Now they're keeping it. You know, they've nearly had as much ball at the start of the second half as they did in the whole of the first half now. And Dublin need to get tighter. Like this is very sloppy. Meath are creating a lot of chaos for the Dublin backs.
Is it just running at them and giving the ball in, and when they get it, they're not hesitating, they're just turning and going at them?
Yeah, like they're keeping it out of contact, they're keeping it out of the battle, and Dublin are constantly chasing runners, whereas in the first half it was nearly 1v1.
And you heard the roar from the crowd there because Meath turned that over, but the ball just wasn't accurate. And well, maybe they'll do a little bit better when they get back up to 15, and that shouldn't be that far away. They were down to 14 right at the end of the first half, and they're warming up a sub as well. So Meath giving it a real go in the second half here, even though they're well behind on the scoreboard. Orla Nolan in loads of room down to our left, and now Tyrrell takes over. And the support comes now from Jennifer Dunn just outside the D, but she will have a go at this one. And it just goes to the right and it goes wide. So it remains 4-8 to 6 points. Now Robin Murray trying to find someone to give it to here. Where's the movement? She might have to go long as usual, and indeed she does, and she gives it everything. And she is looking for one of her players over on the left hand side here. She was hoping to get it to Alva Leahy, but Dublin have gobbled it up, and here comes Carla. And will they go for goal? She does, but ends up maybe caught in two minds, and it was well defended in the end. But Orlin Nolan might still get a score out of it. Brings it back for Carla to have another go. Dunn is there, but goes to Goldrick. And Goldrick steps inside on her left foot. Now, does that go over?
Yeah.
It does indeed. And are you a little bit surprised as
no,
I am? That's a rare one.
No, the girls would have been like, don't go back into the middle there, pass to the outside.
I know, but she
don't
Goldrick
kick on your left, and then she sticks it over, so you can only say well done.
A collector's item, I think, is what we call that. But that's one off her right and one off her left. Is that the Australian influence? I don't know. But she's certainly got a point off her left today, and that was impressive from Sinead Goldrick. And Meath have replaced Kerry Cole. I was saying she was playing a lot deeper in the second half, but she had a real go of it today. And, you know, this experience will only do her a lot of good. Robin Murray's kick goes way over to the left, almost to the dugout, and Sinead Goldrick picks that up very easily and looks for Nicole Owens down in the right corner. And she gets it indeed. Meath trying to pick up who their sub is. So that one played in rather dangerously, but well defended by Olivia Gore. This is Malin. She is forced to go back a little bit. 23 is on for Meath. You'll see in the shot there. And 23 is Amy O'Leary from Blackhall Gales. Only 5 subs allowed in championship. It's not like the National League. Or is it more in Leinster? I don't think so. 18 for Meath is Emily McCann from Oldcastle. And that kick played rather aimlessly, but they still win it. They take it quickly as well. That's Carla Keeley. She wears 4, but she gets forward a lot. This is Ciara Gorman for Meath. Now that's all very tight and congested in there, and Dublin just claim it back rather easily, and Goldrick just seems to be in space all of the time in the second half. Now they are chasing her down here, trying to get that ball back. That's Alva Leahy, but a little bit too enthusiastically. And that's a free. So Dublin certainly not dominating as they did in the first half, in the first 10 minutes here, but still threatening and still looking like they could get a goal at any minute. And that's O'Connor playing it in towards Tyrrell, but well defended by Meath. And this is the sub I mentioned who just came on a minute ago, and they get it out to Malin. They certainly are playing with a bit more confidence in the second half. And this is another of the subs. This is Amy O'Leary, the 23. And they are getting out in front. They are winning the ball, and they are moving it as quickly as they can. And they're turning and going at them. And this is Ciara Gorman playing it in, trying to get it in behind, but well watched. Back in defence there for Dublin. And do they still have the extra player? It must be 15 against 15
yeah,
by
it's
now.
15 on 15 now.
Yeah, but still Goldrick in lots of room. Did she keep it in? She didn't. So 12th minute of the second half, and it's a Dublin sub coming in. And is it Timothy going off? It is. And it is the number 19, Caitlin Coffey from Castleknock coming in to get some decent game time ahead of next week. That is high and hopeful, I think, but Aoife Kane is there and read that one. And gets it to, is that McGuinness, I think it is? To Crowley. I really like the way they move the ball quickly. They don't hold on to the ball and sort of overdo it, Dublin. You know, they move the ball when they can, as quickly as they can. This is Gribben. Nolan. And that looks accurate, and it's nicely popped over the bar. Are they just going for points in the second half, do you think?
No, I think Orla kind of the last cheeky pass she did there to Nicole on the coming in on the back post didn't pull off. She definitely saw Nicole make the same run there again.
We did. I said they haven't had goals, but this might be a goal, and it is. Oh, and just as we were saying that Meath had done well at the start of the second half, that's a bit of a sucker punch, and they've had to go long with a lot of the kickouts. That one they went short and got punished. That's goal number 5.
Yeah, just easy mistake. You can, misjudge the kick further out the field and be able to make up for it, but the smart by Nicole. A lot of players probably would have run at the goal there, but Nicole just dinked it over.
Yeah, she wasn't going to miss that one. That's her second goal of the game, and makes it 5-10 to 6. Our scoreboard's 4-9, and the scoreboard on the ground is 5-10. So it's 25 plays 6 now. But Meath, undeterred, are going at them again. And as you said, Byrne is the main perpetrator. And she is driving them forward. And that shot selection, well, did it pop over the bar? It did pop over the bar, actually. I was going to say that it had gone wide, but they got a point out of it. Goalkeeper with a cap on, but sun would be in your eyes down at that end. I'm going to give her again the benefit of the doubt there. This is Aoife Kane. She might have to go back to her goalkeeper. It's Leah Caffrey instead. Doesn't go to the keeper. They always seem to have a player over. This is done. And the run is by O'Connor. She says, give it to me. I'm on my bike here. I'm away. And she is indeed away. And number 19 is Coffey, who is there. And all the way forward is Niamh Crowley looking for a point, but well blocked down. And the other number 4, Carla Keeley, does well for Meath down in the corner. They get it away, but it's only temporary respite. Nolan. I'm trying to get it back. Now that pass wasn't meant to go to Carla, but got there. Way down in the corner, gives it back out to Owens, back into Carla, and she looks to take her own score, and that's going to bend out. Thought it was going to bend in, but just bent the wrong side of the post. So 43.5 minutes gone, 5-10 to 7 it is for Dublin in this TG4 Leinster Senior Football Championship Round 3 game. The final is next week, and both teams have already qualified for that, and that will be in Croke Park, double header there. Tickets available for that one, and we'll see a different game next week, and I think Meath will certainly bring a lot of players in, and they will be more like themselves. But today it's been very experimental, shall we say, for Meath. They weren't too worried about the scoreline, and they've given players a lot of chances, and at the minute it's Dublin just having a little bit of shooting practice, Ciara.
Yeah, that's Ellen at her best there, coming in on the left foot and stroking it over the bar at pace. Meath are going to some sort of go-to kick out here now.
Yeah, they're all in the middle and then they rush off to the sides. Is that it? And well, it's worked. Orla Mallon got there. And this is Ashley McCabe in the middle of the field. Mallon. Dublin just dropping off a little bit. Meath forced to go back though. This is Emily McCann. Well, their manager was looking to give at least 16 debuts today. He might even have given more the way this has gone. And that crossfield ball is going to work out quite nicely actually for Ciara Lawler. And off Ciara goes a little bit of room in front of her now, so a chance for Meath to create something. She looks inside. There's options here for Orla Mallon, and indeed it could be a score here, should be a score. And in the end, has she got it over the bar? She has, and that is Amy O'Leary from Blackhall Gales, and that is Meath's 8th point of the game. Nice score.
Yeah, good score. Came from a good kick pass to switch the play out of defence, and that opened up the whole pitch for them, rather than kind of carrying it and forcing it down the one side.
Crowley into Caffrey. To Kane. McCaffrey directing the play. That's one of the things you were picking up on, where players direct and tell people where they want it. The hand goes up. Caitlin Coffey, or rather Ellen Gribben, puts a high one in there towards Tyrrell. The keeper has to watch it. Ooh, nervy moment for the keeper. But got away with it. But here come Dublin again. Just over the head of Rowe. And the interception comes in from Amy O'Leary, busy at both ends of the field. Game is naturally opened up with all the substitutions. think the managers probably know who they're going to play next week, don't they? But if one or two players today do exceptional things or put their hand up, there's still one or two places there available. I guess that's the way the managers are looking at it, yeah?
Yeah, like someone could pick up an injury during the week. Somebody could be moved to position to do a certain job, which opens up a position for somebody else. But you've also got players competing for places on the bench, on the panel for the weekend. You've got players competing to be one of the 5 that come off the bench. So there's a lot of competition for different places. There's also players who will definitely make the starting 15 competing for different positions within that. Like we had Lauren McGee play centre back and Sinead Goldrick play midfield. Usually that's the opposite way around. So there's competition everywhere.
And Dublin win that back, and it's Crowley gets it to Caffrey. And I suppose game time as well is so important, and Dublin had the luxury during the league with their strong panel that they gave game time. I think it was 33 players that counted up, but they just didn't get 5 or 10 minutes in there. They all got lots of game time, and as you were saying, they played in different positions as well throughout the league. They used that to give players lots of meaningful game time, whereas the likes of Meath maybe couldn't change that much.
Yeah, Mick would have been conscious of not only giving girls game time but also giving girls starts as well, you know, not coming off the bench in the last 10 minutes all the time, giving girls a proper crack at it. And it's worthwhile, and over the past 2 years you've seen the team that this has developed into.
Absolutely. Very strong in depth, and the referee has penalised Dublin there. No, penalised Meath. It's a Dublin free. So we're into the last 11 minutes. Is there another change? There is. Dublin substitution. Is that Kate Sullivan?
It is, yeah.
Kate Sullivan coming on, and she's wearing number 24. And she comes on for Sinead Goldrick. Goalkeeper change as well. And it's Abby Shields coming in for Rachel Fleming. Is that just rotating, just giving her a bit of time here, or there wasn't any injuries or anything? I noticed anything like that. She's just he's just, and I think it is more than subs. There's definitely more than 5 subs coming on. Yeah. Shona Lynch for Meath now. Great defending again. It's all about winning your individual battles, I guess. But what about Meath here? They're tiring towards the end of this game, and Kate Sullivan comes on. And that one played down into the left corner, and it's evaded Carla. And in that race for possession, look who's up there. It's Niamh Crowley. She was winning a ball down on the other end of the field, and now she's up there in the left corner, and she's hurt herself there. But that little cameo by Crowley sort of sums up where Dublin are. You know, they're so tenacious, even though they're so far ahead in both areas of the field. And she is one of the young players who's come through, but she's bought into the culture, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. I think from day one, like, she was, you know, one of the first names on the team sheet last year, in fairness to her, and to come out of minor and to be able to achieve that is fantastic. Hopefully that knocking out is nothing too serious there, going to take her off. But she didn't attack much in the first half. Maybe that's a message that was sent in to her. You know, a target for her for the second half is to get forward more, put your player on the back foot.
Yeah, but maybe her courage has cost her there. She went in for that challenge there, full-blooded, but she's taken a knock. But maybe it's just a precautionary one, and say, well, we've got a final next week, but that does look painful. And yeah, substitution for Dublin, although I think he's more or less emptied his bench, hasn't he?
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anyone.
He's only, I think, got 24 or so there today, so I'm not quite sure who he's got over there, but I don't see anybody there. Unless they bring the likes of Goldrick maybe back on again or something, but I don't see anybody rushing to come on. The signal was definitely there, as you saw, for a change. Maybe that message is getting through now, or not sure what they're going to do. But yeah, looking at next week, Croke Park, obviously always a great place to play, and Meath will be a different proposition next week, and they'll be waiting to give it to Dublin as much as they can. And, you know, Meath haven't won a provincial title for an awful long time, so they're maybe keeping their powder dry a little bit.
Yeah, you'd hope now that training will be fairly intense during the week to, you know, make sure players are ready for it, so ready to go into Croke Park to perform, and then to, you know, have a go at a bit of silverware. I think Dublin are probably in a better position because, you know, they're getting players minutes in a competitive game here today. But it'll be interesting to see next weekend.
What do you think Meath will have learned from today?
Run at Dublin, go together. They're doing it a lot more in the second half. They're moving the ball, they're staying out of the tackle.
Ellen Gribben back to Dunn and racing through the middle. It is the sub who's come on. This is Sullivan. Yeah, is Hegarty on?
Yeah, I think we got them mixed up with the red boots.
Oh, you're right. Tyrrell at the other end now. Dublin just playing around. That's a lovely ball into Carla Rowe. Didn't quite stick though. Yeah, that's Hegarty now in and not Sullivan. Or is Sullivan in as well? Hegarty and Sullivan. 21 is Hannah Hegarty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen her play Camogie the last few years, but good dual player.
Yeah, she played football underage as well, and then went on to captain Dublin for Camogie.
Yeah, from Jude's. Yeah, she had a bit of game time in the league, and so she's come in now for the last 10 minutes or so here. This is done to Nolan, to Rowe. Off they go down to that left corner again, stretching the Meath defence. Going to come all the way back out to Dunn. Meath dropping off. They look a bit tired. Dublin are stretching them all over the field, going from side to side. And Meath have 13 players behind the ball. And they're just moving it again from side to side. And Nolan, as usual, is the main playmaker, dictating. Tyrrell, but that's nicely intercepted. And Meath have got it back, but they've just given it straight back to Nolan. And Dunn is always available in the middle. And she plays the ball in looking for Owens, who's taken it nicely. And she is now on a hat-trick. And there is a number 21 that is going over the bar as well. That's nicely taken. Hannah Hegarty, as we were saying, from St Jude's. And it goes to 5-12 to 8 points. And Dublin just going through the motions now, aren't they?
Yeah, I think Meath players would be a bit disappointed they didn't get a block on the ball there. First of all, Nicole Owens won a ball and there's 3 players around her. Then Hannah Hegarty managed to get the shot off. So that's unlike Meath, because usually they just swallow up those attacks.
They do. And that's good pressure by Caitlin Coffey to block that one, but it is a Meath ball. Last 5 minutes then. They go back to Robin Murray. I suppose from a Meath point of view, they conceded 4 goals in the first half, just the 1 in the second. So they've kept the score down a bit in the second half. Pressure on Carla Keeley, but she does well under that pressure and gets away. Keeps possession as well. Olivia Gore. The number 18 is Emily McCann. 23 is Amy O'Leary. And now it's Meath's turn to get a little bit of possession and try to stretch Dublin. And good runners as well. Just when I was saying they look a bit jaded, they found a little bit of energy. The crossfield ball is a good one, and it finds Keeley. And they have stretched Dublin here, but across comes Dunn. This is Mallon trying to get on that left foot. Now the ball, that's an ambitious looking one, shall we say, but it's a bit too high and hopeful. A bit like the rugby passing yesterday in Croke Park with Leinster. And this is Caffrey. And O'Connor available. And they always seem to have players available. McGuinness is the one available on this occasion. Caffrey again. They always seem to have at least 1, maybe 2 options. This is O'Connor running into traffic, so it goes back to Caffrey. Carla Rowe in space, pointing where she wants it. Caffrey now with the kick pass to Nolan. Players just holding position very well and waiting for the pass to come. This is Tyrrell. The game, is it my imagination or is it just slowed down a little bit?
It's slowed down a lot, yeah.
This is Dunn driving through and is going to get her score as well. And she certainly has put in the hard yards today. She has come in over the last month or so, and she's steadily building up for championship pace, and she's getting there. She's there. 5-13 now to 8 points. Short kick out works to Mallon. And that's a little bit tricky, but she gets there just ahead of Tyrrell. That's going to work for Meath, but they're under pressure to just get out. They're not outside the 45 yet, but they get a free now. Mallon pops a little ball into Aisling McCabe, and now the kick pass, but is Dublin going to win that? No, they don't, and it is Byrne, and an obvious pull in the jersey from Aoife Kane, preventing that one, and she was not impressed by that. Now the ball is going to be brought forward, but Dublin prevented what was maybe going to be a goal effort, because they knew that Byrne was away, and she is the danger, as you pointed out.
Yeah, every time she gets the ball, it's just her turn of pace. She's very quick off the mark, and you know, Aoife Kane had nothing left to do there but to pull the jersey.
Mallon might profit with a point, but they'd love to have had a little goal chance there. And it's going to drop off the crossbar and stay in, and the keeper has work to do, and Abby Shields does it, and does it well. Caffrey always available when a player is coming out of defence, but not required, and instead it's gone to Hannah Hegarty, to Rowe, and now the run ahead of her by Owens, but instead they go to O'Connor. O'Connor uses her speed, and she really is fast. She just lays past players at times, gives it inside, but doesn't stick, and Meath are going to be able to counter here. They've scored 8 points in this game. They'd love to get a goal just to finish on a little bit of a high here. Mallon plays it in, but Dublin don't cough up goal chances that often, and they certainly don't like to cough up goals. And that played in, and it's a good ball actually, and she's going to get out in front and does really well. That is Gorman, but somehow Nolan won it back, and as you said, you have to defend as well as attack, and we see Nolan at both ends of the field, and they're working as hard as ever in the last 5 minutes of the game. This is Caitlin Coffey. Ahead of her, Hannah McGuinness is in space, but O'Connor's waiting to take it over, and she's just going to press the accelerator again, is she, or leave it off, because there's a good run by Hegarty, and she spotted it and found her really well, but it was intercepted. She just didn't quite manage to hold on to it, and instead it's going to be another chance for a Meath transition, but they gave it straight back to Dublin, and O'Connor has it. Coffey, and she drills it almost without looking. She knew that Owens would be there, but that just evades her, and it's going to be a Meath kick out as we go into the last few seconds of normal time. Robin Murray looking to take it as quickly as she can, and gives it short, and it seems like the kickouts have gone shorter in the last 15 minutes. Have been easier to get possession, and they have only conceded the one goal, and it was from a short kick out, but Dublin certainly have not peppered the Dublin or the Meath goal as they did in the first half. Is there a chance here for Meath and added time to get some joy? The run is from Byrne, and Kane following her again. Does she dare to pull the jersey again? She doesn't, but Abby Shields comes out and reads the situation really well. Good goalkeeping, Ciara.
Yeah, really good goalkeeping. Playing as an extra defender there, and Abby's really, really good at that.
O'Connor once again to Hegarty, to Martha Byrne. Owens looks to give it to Tyrrell, but it's not accurate, and Meath gobble it up again, and it's really just you attack and then we attack. There's not really much structure to the game. The systems have kind of been broken down by all the subs that have come in, maybe.
Yeah, it's quite disjointed now. A lot of mistakes, a lot of turnovers. There's very little flow to the game now, but I think Meath have dropped a few more players back. You know, they're playing quite defensive, and that's slowing down the Dublin attack. Dublin don't have as much space to play in, and that's why the game has probably been a bit broken.
62nd minute then, and you saw Martha Byrne there, and she was calling for that decision because she knew that she had won that ball. And it's Dublin coming again. Maybe it's they who will finish with a score, and this is Caitlin Coffey again trying to put her hand up for a start next week. Nolan gives it back to Owens, and a lovely ball inside, nearly came off but didn't quite. And that's kind of been the story in the second half for Dublin in regard of goals. There's a few times, maybe 3 or 4 times, that they've looked like they might create something really nice, a really special goal, and it just hasn't quite happened. This is Lynch. She's been one of the pluses for her team in this game. This is Gorman now, and has she been forced over the line? The referee says play on. Although the linesperson has her flag up, she just did carry it over the line, I think. And indeed, it's a Dublin ball. So 5-13 to 8 points. Seems a lot as the final whistle goes, but to be honest, Ciara, the way it was going in the first half, I thought it was going to be a bigger Dublin scoreline. I thought they were going to have 8 or 9 goals by the end of the game, but scoreline doesn't really matter today, does it?
No, it doesn't. It will matter to Dublin in the sense that they missed awful lot of chances that they can't afford to miss next weekend. The finishing has been something Dublin have improved on massively in the past 2 years, and they kind of let themselves down today in that respect. Kind of played into Meath's hands a little bit more in the second half, in that it was sloppier. Maybe Dublin are trying to force a few passes that they shouldn't have when the shot was on. I think Meath... There's
a few DCU colleagues out there. Sorry, go on ahead.
I think Meath would have learned a lot more about themselves in that match than Dublin did. Just the likes of, what you're doing, the simple things in possession of the ball, moving it, not carrying it into tackle, and just the basic win the ball, get your hands on it, don't make it easy for the opposition. They made the first half far too easy for Dublin, and hence the scoreline we have. But in the second half, they were a little bit tighter. They were a little bit more purposeful in how they moved the ball. So there's a little bit of, little bit of learnings there to take from it. And, Shane McCormick's going around high-fiving all his players there. So he's fairly happy with everyone. And, it's, trying to put them in a very positive frame of mind going into next week.
Yeah, how do you think it'll affect next week? I mean, who would have learned the most today? Or is it just a case of got through the motions here and they both know what they're going to do next week already?
Oh, they definitely know what they're going to do next week already. I think the biggest improvement in performance will come from Meath next weekend, and Dublin, they're not going to take today for granted. Really, they know what they're going to face next week. But I think in every match Dublin have played against Meath in recent years, it's just gone down to those little battles, those little moments in the game, winning the ball when you're not expected to win it, getting your scores over the bar, working together as a team, keeping the ball out of the tackle, those sort of things are what's going to decide next weekend, and both teams will know that.
But surely for all those debuts for Meath, I mean, a game like this against the All-Ireland champions is priceless, in terms of game time and learning and just playing against players that they don't get a chance to play against a lot.
And this time of year as well, like they're not getting their kind of debuts against, a weaker team or, earlier in the year, and then not seeing game time. They're getting it right in the heart of the championship, a week out from a championship final in Croke Park. So that just adds an extra bit of cherry on top, kind of makes it an extra bit more special for them. And it's gonna affect the whole team. It's gonna ripple down through the whole team, and that's what Meath will want. They won't be, they weren't looking at the scoreboard coming into today. They're just looking at building a panel for the rest of the year.
Well, there's lots of smiles there, and there's also quite a few senior players, shall we say, wearing shades there and enjoying the sunshine here today. But they look in reasonably good form. They're not going to be too bothered about getting heavily beaten on the scoreboard here. They look reasonably happy with where they are. They kind of expected this, and they'll be encouraging those young players who have given everything today and saying you did well.
Absolutely, like they're going to want those young players to be, giving them or testing them in training for the rest of the championship. Unless the lower half of your panel is improving and pushing, the higher end aren't going to either. So yeah, it's only going to benefit me going forward.
And let's be honest, I mean, at half time it looked like Dublin might run away and hit double figures in goals in the second half, but it didn't happen. And maybe that's, as you say, because Meath played a few more players back and were a bit more conservative. But when they went forward, they went at it, and there were encouraging signs for them in the second half. Yeah,
definitely, and that's the Meath we're used to seeing. That's the Meath Dublin are used to seeing, and they didn't cope with that on a few occasions in the second half, particularly at the start. Like Meath came out and dominated the opening 5 minutes. Dublin will be taking a serious hard look at that during the week. But I don't. Like you said, you can't really read too much into today's game.
But from a Dublin point of view, just to finish off, I mean, how on earth do you pick a starting 15 for next week when you have so many options?
Well, you have to, but you also, they'll be looking at how we're going to finish with the stronger team as well. So maybe some girls won't be getting the run because we need strength and depth coming in to see out the game to finish it as well. So there is personal disappointment in that, but you all buy into the squad game.
And do you think the Dublin players themselves know what the starting lineup will be more or less next week?
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
I mean, when I saw them against Kildare a few weeks ago, I thought, that's Mick saying this is my starting 15 for the championship. This is what I want. But then again, he can put in a different 15 the next week.
Well, it was the starting 15 for the first round of championship.
Is that when you set it out? Is that a signal to players that this is the team from the league, that this is what I'm setting out here?
Not really, no. Like, that's not the team he's going to have on paper, say, for an All-Ireland final. That's not what's in his mind. It's, here's the starting 15. Go take their spots.
For that
day.
Go
keep your spot, yeah. Like, that's what it is. You got to factor in injuries. You got to factor in game time. Keeping girls fresh, particularly the more senior players in the panel as well. So, there's a lot to consider. But even you take next weekend, it's not going to be All-Ireland final panel either.
I can hardly hear of a helicopter that sounds very, very close to us. Okay, well, we'll wrap it up there in the sunshine here in Parnell Park. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage. My thanks to Ciara Trant for coming along and adding her thoughts on the game here today. Not the Dublin Meath that we've been used to over the last 3 or 4 years. Pretty one-sided, but a very interesting game nonetheless. And get your tickets for next week in Croke Park, because that, I think, is going to be a bit of a humdinger. Dublin against Meath in the TG4 Leinster Senior Final. But from here today in the round 3 game, from the whole team, it's goodbye.